Jazzcast Pros.
This conversation is really for the mothers that are dating and running a business. And when I mean dating, I mean literally you're trying to find the partner and you're running a business, and it can all be so confusing and so blurry because you're trying to make him happy, the new guy you're dating happy, the kids happy, the business happy, and sometimes things can be neglected. And I feel like it's important that we speak to this particular subject. I was actually in a situation where I was dating and I was running a business and I was a mother. And I'll tell you right now from my experience on how I was able to get through it and survive and make it all work. One thing that I did that really was beneficial is I always put my children first, and I then put the business second.
Welcome back to the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast with daily on-the-go episodes packed with testimonies and business tips to help you create financial freedom through entrepreneurship. Hosted by the owner of Fracassi Lashes and the Blow Dry Lounge, the Beauty Boss Millionaire herself, Falicia Fracassi.
Hey there, and thanks for tuning in to Beauty Boss Millionaire. I'm your host, Falicia Fracassi, and I want to have a special talk with just the moms. The objective of today's episode is really to talk about Mommy's Love Life Part 2, just because I feel like it's so important that we do discuss how to balance out the mom, the love life, the being a businesswoman and all that, because it can be very stressful if you're not really sure on how to handle all of it. And please remember to rate our app as well, that you're loving this podcast, so we can be up high in the algorithms and get more people to download us and listen to what we're saying, because more people need to hear conversations like this. Now, earlier I spoke, if you're in a relationship, how to balance it out, and how to make sure the husband is happy, the kids are happy, the boyfriend's happy, whoever's happy, and you're in a very loving and caring relationship. Hopefully you're doing this, having a business while you're at least stable. If not, I say wait on dating, because there's going to be a lot of changes you go through. There's no really right manual for it. If you feel the person is right to help you out, okay, but I just am very sensitive with my children. I don't like a lot of people around my children, and I don't want a lot of people around my children while I'm working, because you never know what can happen. The kids, if they're not old enough to speak up for themselves, or even if they are old enough, sometimes things happen. It's just the reality of it. So I'm just a very protective mother. I always made sure that my children were stable. One, they had good care around them, that with people that I truly trusted. Background checks were involved. And then I was able to run the business. And the dating came in later on. Dating can be very difficult because you have to schedule time. I mean, this is me already running multiple companies and still trying to date. So that's why I was very particular and very much a scheduled woman, meaning that your conversations with people are going to have to be less, and schedules are going to have to be more in place, or else lines will get blurred. Children will not be picked up on time. The guy you're dating sees that you're trying to just looking crazy. And I don't think anyone wants to be part of a situation like that, including yourself. And you'll drive yourself crazy. I'm one where I really wish that it could be like, okay, I'm not dating right now, and therefore I'm not looking for a guy. But the way God had it be for me, I was actually didn't want to date. I was like, whatever, I really don't want to date. I don't even see anyone that's cute. I didn't want to date. And my kids, they had a loving father in their life, and everything was working out really good. So, I would have like the weekends off where, he would take them or whatever. And then I would, be working on my business. But had it be that God sent a lovely man in my life. And at first I was like, I don't even want to date. Like I literally went on the date, like looking at this guy, like this is not even going to work out. I went on a few dates, like I don't even want to be with these guys. This is wasting my time. I can be working on my business, because I'm very focused when I'm focused. And God had it be that I met my husband while I was dating on an app, and he came into my life. He was so sweet. I said, oh, well, we're just going to be friends, because I don't really want to, put it in that category of anything else. So there's no expectations. So, he would check on me. I would check on him. And then he would be like, wow, I didn't hear from you in like a few days, because I was busy working. And he really wasn't my top priority at the time. My business was. I'd be working 11-hour, 12-hour shifts, grinding straight, driving to different cities, hour and a half drive there, hour and a half drive back. So when I get off of work, I was kind of like, I kind of was being what they call the dude in the relationship. I was basically just being a guy like, oh yeah, I forgot to text you. I was that woman that was forgetting to text guys. I was forgetting to text. I would probably maybe in the morning send a text, and then late at night, oh yeah, how you doing? Like, it wasn't really my focus, because I viewed men as a distraction. And a lot of times, if you're not in the right relationship or in a toxic dating relationship, it is actually toxic. It is really draining and it takes your energy away. But I didn't know this guy was going to be my husband, who seen what I was doing. And not only did he come in the picture and help, he made it so much easier that I knew that he was probably the one for me. I mean, there was times where I was working and he would send me food. I would go all day and not eat. And I would take little small breaks, or I didn't have time to take a break because the business is booming, honey. So he'd send me food. And then he would do other things. Like, he's like, look, I see you're busy. Is there a day we can get up? I was like, well, I can't meet Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Maybe you can catch me on Sunday for after I go to church. Like, he was like, okay, well, can I go to church with you? I'm like, no, no way. He's like, please. I'm like, okay, let me not be selfish with the Lord, but I'll direct you to a church. I didn't want you coming to my church, though, because I don't want you thinking this is a different level. I take church very seriously. And, I just didn't want, I didn't know if he was going for the right reasons. So I was like, oh, I can direct you to a church. And so he actually went to church on his own as I directed him. He was just like, oh, it was a great service. Like, it was so funny. And then I said, okay, a few months went by. I said, let me actually take him to the church that I like. So we went, we had great time, but we had to schedule time for all those things. And that's what I really want to focus on. Make sure that you're scheduling time. And the men don't always have to be first. I hate to say it. When you're dating, whoever that person is that you're dating, let me stop saying men, because I know the world has changed. There's other people that date. The partner that you're dating or the person that you're dating doesn't always have to be put first. And a lot of people make that mistake in business. Your obligation first is to your children and to your business. The guy comes last. I know you may not agree with me on this, but if he's truly meant to be with you, it will all work out, and he will actually begin helping and taking some of that pressure off your plate. That's when you know you've met your mate. He's not adding to your stress, questioning you, your whereabouts, but he's adding to your life. He's adding to the picture. He's adding to the business. He's becoming like almost closer like a husband. If you are being distracted in a relationship, or you're going through stuff in a relationship, is getting toxic, you're wasting your time, he is not the one for you. I'm telling you, if the way it starts is the way it's probably going to keep going. So remember, if this person is adding to your life, if this person is helping out and assisting and seeing your vision, helping, being a helpmate to you, being a helper to you, that's when you know you're headed in the right direction. So I want to really point this out, because you don't want to look crazy, run a business, fight with this man every other night. It's all on social media. It's becoming public now that you're fighting. Y'all looking crazy. And the kids are looking at you like you're crazy. And you're teaching them to be toxic as well. So I'm very, very, very strict on how I move when it comes to having children. You need to move differently. There's no way that I can tell you exactly how to move, but these are some basic guidelines. Kids come first. Remember, they always come first. When that guy is gone, the kids are going to look at you like, Mommy, what have you done? Why have you put us through this? Why have you left us these places where we should not have been left? These are the questions your kids are going to have for you when they get older. They're going to question your judgment. So it's important that you always put the kids first. Now, you don't want to be to the point where you're doing it too much, where you're not even talking to anyone else. Don't think I'm saying that. But then the relationship, schedule time for you and your guy to be together separately from the children. Just you and him together, date night with you and your boyfriend or the potential boo that you're dating. Make that schedules. If that doesn't work out for his schedule, he's not willing to accommodate you, move on to the next guy. I'm telling you, because you're doing something that most people won't do. You're running the mama club, which is being a mom, and you're also now trying to manage your personal relationship. And then you've got, obviously, the business to run. So you've got to do a lot of scheduling of time, a lot of organization. If you don't have a calendar, grab a calendar at Walmart. It's like $4. It can help you schedule it out, or you can use your iPhone or your Android, whatever phone you have, a smartphone. Schedule time and really stick to those times. And make sure you remind the person, hey, look, we scheduled Sunday being our date night between, let's say 3 and 7. Let's make sure we stick to that, because I got to get home by 8 to put the kids in bed. Make sure they understand what your schedule looks like, and you being a mom too. So that's one of the things that I always did when I was dating. I said, look, we can hang out, but it can only be between 1 and 5 because my babysitter leaves at 6, like things like that, or my nanny leaves, things like that. When I met my guy, I actually had the nanny already living in the house. It was so funny because he's like, well, you got the nanny, let's just go. I'm like, no, that still means that I have to still be home and be present. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I don't have any, because the guy I married had no kids. So he didn't understand what it is to be a parent. He didn't understand that. He thinks just if someone's at the home, it's okay and you can leave. But you all know as mothers that kids still want your time, mommy time. There's things that you're going to do that your nanny won't do. You're going to still have to have that bonding time, that relaxation. So make sure you plan everything out. Make sure I cannot stress it enough, plan out, have that schedule running tight, leave room for errors, leave some extra room. Don't have everything planned out to the minute. Just have a general time and stick within those guidelines and give the proper attention to the children because they are what matters. They're everything. This is why you're doing what you're doing so you can free up your time. And if you're in that relationship, make sure you just have schedules in place and that you have certain date times that you're able to be together. And, don't always be so quick to bring the guy in the household. I always say that to mothers that are young. Don't be so quick to bring a guy around the children, even if you think he's nice, even if you guys are already smashed. Yes, I said it. Even if you're already smashed, do not bring the kids around the guy yet. Give it some time because now you're intertwining too many worlds. They're becoming attached. Everyone's becoming attached. And now if things don't go right because you're walking on untread territory. You don't really know this person that well yet. And a lot of times people put the cart before the horse. I'm not judging you for that because we've all made mistakes before where we've done things out of order. But the whole point is that if you make those mistakes, it doesn't need to necessarily be around the children, and work on that relationship separately and work on your relationship with children separately. And then if things come to the point where you see that this guy is more marriage material or husband material or whoever's more serious about the relationship, then you can take a little step further. But always remember the kids come first and the business comes second. The dating comes third. I'm telling you, it's the only way it works. Until that changes and there's more of a commitment in the house, y'all move in together, then you can kind of change the priority where it's like, okay, the family comes first and the business comes second. So just remember all that. And I hope all this has helped. And thanks for tuning in to Beauty Boss Millionaire.
That's it for today. Tune in tomorrow for the Beauty Boss Millionaire podcast. And don't forget to follow the Beauty Boss Millionaire, Falicia Fracassi, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Beauty Boss Millionaire.
Also, if these are really helpful, please review, rate, and share, or just send the link to someone who may need this. See you tomorrow.